Welcome to Edge of Illumination. It is Renee. I have a very important message here, and oftentimes overlooked, very real possibility that happens if you are aware, you're an empath, you have firm boundaries. Beware of spiritual handlers and manipulators. This one is huge. These types typically come on after you have overcome a major obstacle in your life, after you have spiritually leveled up or had a big awakening. You may have done something like challenged yourself to overcome a certain fear. Maybe it's a fear of getting a license or a fear of buying a house somewhere. It could be anything. But it's something that is profound to you on a spiritual level. This oftentimes will happen if you have made the decision that you are going to live your life a certain way. Maybe it's going to be stress-free, healthy. A spiritual handler or manipulator may try to come in. Now, these people know that their regular traditional tactics will not work on you. They know the love bombing, love flooding, the false flattery, the game playing isn't going to work, so they search for something much deeper. They can tell by your insightful responses, by your intelligent posts or intelligent conversations. It could even be that you have a business and maybe it's published. There are all different types of things. But they can tell by the way you speak, by your vibe, how you act, that you are a woman who is deeply spiritual, grounded, or on a healing or spiritual journey. At this point, these people come in very subtle and very sly. And how they come in is by luring you in through small talk and conversations that are meant to sort of get in your head and create a sense of false intimacy. A feeling of you've always known them, they're just like you, and they get you on a deeper level. This is the first type of spiritual handler or manipulator. This person will then begin to start making you question your own healing, your own spiritual practices, why you do what you do. Maybe you have firm boundaries when it comes to relationships and they want you to change or modify those. Or maybe you've made certain decisions in your life and they want you to go off course and pick another path. They will always carry a vibe like they somehow know more or have special information, keys, or insights that you do not have. That is the game. To get you to think that they have some type of special intel or knowledge, they don't. The truth is they are winging it. You have far more than they do, more than likely. But in order for the manipulation to work, they have to convince you that they are just like you, but a little more advanced, that they get it. They don't operate from intuition, they operate from a headspace. So another vibe you're going to get with these types of spiritual manipulators is they're going to seem somewhat cold. It's not going to feel warm and reciprocal. It's almost going to feel judgy, like if you're dealing with an older parent, authority figure, even if they're the same age as you. And it's going to make you feel like maybe you're doing something wrong with your journey. Maybe you should choose a different path, and maybe you should reevaluate a particular part of your journey. Realistically, the part that they are trying to get you to reevaluate is a part that is crucial to your success. So don't do it. Instead, take a step back from these people and take time to not allow yourself to give too much access on an intellectual, spiritual, or even emotional level too soon. And how you do this is when you start to feel uneasy or doubtful or maybe even self-gaslighting, maybe even starting to question everything that you have learned up until this point, that's when you need to take a step back, meditate, reevaluate, and put a little bit of distance in between you and this person. When you put this distance in between you and them, it's going to start coming out what you were really dealing with. The second type of spiritual handler is much more dangerous or risky to your spiritual growth and your spiritual journey. This is typically going to be a high authority figure that is put in place. It could be a boss at work. It could be someone in the community that is looked up to. It could even be a public figure. It doesn't matter. This person is going to somehow coincidentally meet you, run into you, and give you a feeling that you are being seen. They see how spiritual you are. They see how much growth you've made. It's like somehow they have identified you. It may sound really positive, but it's actually not, because you may look up to them. You may think, well, maybe this person is going to be a good mentor. Maybe they can give me some type of an opportunity. Maybe they're a part of my journey, but it's going to switch. You're going to find that you are going to feel judged by them. You're going to feel evaluated by them, and you're going to feel like you have to somehow meet their approval. They're going to give you support, but only just so much, only enough to make you keep feeling like you need to prove that you really are on a spiritual path, or prove that you really are who they've identified you to be or think that you may be. They may give you little validation, or they may give you a greater deal of validation, but typically something is always incomplete. They may say something along the lines of, I think you'll be a good fit for this job, but it doesn't really go anywhere. Or I may have a really big opportunity for you. I think you would be great in X, Y, or Z, but it rarely moves forward. They still seem open to you. You still have proximity to them, but at the same time, it seems like they're still watching you and monitoring you. Like they need to make sure that you're right. This is a spiritual trap and a spiritual manipulation. When you feel a feeling like they need to make sure you're the right one, you need to almost audition for them in a sense. This is because they are spiritually judging you. They are trying to get you to ignore your intuition and instead give them your power. If you continue with these people, they're going to more than likely lead you off course by getting you to self-doubt and second guess yourself. Another example of these types of spiritual handlers and manipulators, the one who is in a position of authority oftentimes is in a position where they could help you. Maybe they could sign off on a business loan or put your name in a certain suggestion, but they don't. It's not that they're a mean person, but maybe they're still getting to know you and filling you out. However, it's with this feeling of them watching you and monitoring you and judging you to where you feel like you don't want to express yourself and show up the way you normally would. And then when you act in a way that is in accordance with your higher self and intuition, they will ignore that, or they will say something negative. These are key telltale signs. If they validate you when you are being inauthentic and not being true to who you really are, and when they either ignore you or don't show support when you're being your most authentic, this is a sign it may be a spiritual handler or manipulator. So I am going to go into more details about this in the future. This is a very important concept. I hope you have an awesome, wonderful, amazing rest of the day. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe and set the notification bell to all, and I will talk to you until next time. Bye-bye.